Hurricane season begins this Saturday, and we're continuing to prepare for the storm before it hits. And in order for us to prepare, we kind of need to know what we're expecting this season. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, revealed its outlook for the 2024 hurricane season for the Central Pacific. A near normal season has 4 or 5 tropical cyclones, but we're going to find out the real scoops from the man himself. Here to break down the predictions for 2024 is Island Weather Chief Meteorologist Pete Caggiano. Pete, how you doing?
Yeah,
hi, brother.
Hey, doing great, and thanks for having us. And I can't believe, it's kind of a weird year so far. It felt like winter kind of lasted a little bit longer. And now we're effectively in summer, so it's kind of, we need to get ready, I think, mentally for the fact that we've got hurricane season right around the corner, right? This weekend we started. So we are looking at, the good news is, a below average season. So that would be 1 to 4 tropical cyclones. We normally see 4 to 5. And the reason for that is La Nina, which is basically cooling of the waters near the equator. We're expecting these waters to be a little bit cooler than normal, and that disrupts weather patterns all across the world. And if you hear folks talk about, hey, I heard it was going to be an extreme season, a season with lots of hurricanes, well, they're right, but it's because the Atlantic is going to be the extreme season.
On the other side.
Exactly.
Right.
We're almost flip-flop, so when we have less hurricanes, they have more and vice versa. So they're going to see a very busy season. Right now, at least the prediction for us is a below average season, but of course it only takes one storm, so that's what we're really concerned about, getting prepared.
And, and all these cyclones, are these cyclones that develop exclusively in the Central Pacific? Like, what about the cyclones that develop in the Eastern Pacific and cross over into our territory?
So they count too, and the Eastern Pacific is much more active. Often the water temperatures are much warmer there, so they count towards our total, so that 1 to 4 does count for anything that develops off to the east, and that tends to happen, especially later in the season. We tend to see those storms develop off of Central America and then make their way all the way over to Hawaii.
Yeah. And I understand that there's going to be a level of this is not a word, not sureness. You know what I mean? Like we can't lay this out as gospel. Right. This really is just predictions of what they think is going to happen, right?
Exactly. And not only that, but it's not only a prediction, which can be wrong, it also can be right. We could have 2 storms, both could make landfall in Hawaii. It could be the busiest season we ever see, and that forecast of a below average season will actually technically be correct, because we'll be below 4 storms. So bottom line is, we like to look at these just to kind of get an idea of what's to come, but we want to just prepare, because it only takes 1. We're predicting up to 4. If 4 of those were to develop and actually make landfall, that would be disastrous. If 1 makes landfall, that would be disastrous.
Oh,
so
yes,
we want to be
absolutely.
prepared.
But we're talking about La Nina, which is cooler. Are we expecting it, because it's cooler, that we are a little bit safer from wildfires?
Well, we are. Good news is we saw a lot of rainfall with our coastal lows. We should be well into the dry season, which should have started in early May, but we've actually just kind of started the dry season over the past week.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's going to basically delay the fire season. So we're expecting, likely we'll delay it to probably August, maybe even September, but we'll see how much rain we get between now and then. But yeah, that dry season, or that fire season, has been delayed because of all the rain we've seen with our coastal lows and disturbances over the past few weeks. So that is actually good news.
Okay, well, I got to ask you a question as a weatherman. And Mele has lived on Kauai. She's lived through 2 hurricanes, so having a bug out bag is super important. Give me 3 items in Pete Caggiano's bug out bag.
Well, the bug out, in general, just at the house, I like to have water. Water, you want flashlights, and first aid kit, I think, is some of the important things. But there's much more, of course, that you can get prepared.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Pete, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yes, brother, thank
Stay
you.
with Island Life Live during our Hurricane Preparedness Week as we get you geared up for hurricane season. Learn what you need to know before disaster hits.
Yes, and coming up tomorrow, we have Board of Water Supply in the house to discuss how and why it's important to conserve water during a storm. And we'll be back right after the break. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Water.
I'm going to bring my bag. I want to show everybody.
You should.
Yeah.
We need it.